Sometime in the next year, you will see a video of someone you know. Their face, their voice, the little gestures only they make. And it will not be them.
For as long as our species has had eyes, seeing something meant it happened. That's not a belief. That's wiring.
The wiring is now wrong. Tonight, what happens to truth when seeing stops being believing? Start in 1839. A man named Louis Daguerre showed Paris a mirror that remembered. For the first time in history, light itself could leave a statement behind.
Before that, every piece of evidence was a person. Someone told you what happened, and you decided whether to trust them.
Which is why the photograph felt like a miracle. It wasn't another voice. It was the world signing its own testimony. Courts admitted it. Passports required it. Newspapers built their word on it. For 180 years, we outsourced trust to a chemical reaction. The camera became the one witness that didn't need to be believed, only seen.
Except, that was never quite true, was it?
No. In 1917, two schoolgirls in Cottingley, England, photographed fairies at the bottom of their garden. Paper cutouts on hatpins. Arthur Conan Doyle, the man who invented Sherlock Holmes, believed them.
And governments learned to retouch before most people learned to develop. Officials who fell from favor vanished from official photographs, one by one, like the past was being weeded.
So the fake is old. What's new isn't the lie. It's the price tag. Every forgery used to cost something. Skill, hours, a darkroom, access to the negative. The cost was the filter. Most lies stayed cheap words, because expensive pictures were hard.
And detection was cheaper than deception. One expert with a magnifier could find the seam that took a forger a week to hide.
That ratio just flipped. A convincing copy of a voice takes seconds of audio. A believable face takes a sentence of text. Fabrication is becoming free. Verification is becoming the expensive thing.
Careful. Anyone can fake anything is itself an exaggeration. Most fakes still fail, and forensics still catches most of the rest.
True, and it doesn't matter, because you don't need every fake to succeed. You only need enough fakes in the world that nothing has to be conclusive anymore. In 2019, the chief executive of a British energy firm wired nearly $250,000 to a stranger because a voice on the phone asked him to. His boss's accent, his melody, his slight German lilt. It was software.
That's money. Money sometimes comes back. Now make it personal.
A voice saying, it's me. Something's happened. Please. There are families who have answered that call, and it was not their child. The voice was grown from 30 seconds of video, posted anywhere, ever.
And here's what that call does even when it fails. It doesn't just try to steal money. It steals the voice itself. The next real call, Mom, it's me, now carries a shadow.
Every counterfeit devalues the real thing it copies. Fake money doesn't just enrich the forger. It makes everyone check their change.
Okay, everyone expects the deepfake episode to be about being fooled. Being fooled is not the deep problem, is it?
No, the deep problem has a name in the research: the liar's dividend. Once everyone knows anything can be faked, anyone caught on camera can simply say, that's not me, and they might be right. That's the dividend. Fakery pays the guilty, not just the forger. Real evidence becomes deniable the moment fake evidence becomes possible.
So the danger isn't that we'll believe false things. It's that we'll get permission to disbelieve true ones.
The opposite of truth isn't the lie. It's the shrug.
Walk the buildings with me. Courts first.
A photograph used to end arguments in a courtroom. Now the argument is about the photograph. So the law is moving its weight from pixels to provenance. Where a file has been, who touched it, whether it was signed at the moment of capture. Chain of custody becomes the new fingerprint.
And that's already shipping. Camera makers have begun cryptographically signing photos inside the camera body. A tamper-evident birth certificate for the image, written at the shutter.
Newsrooms next. Verification used to be a step. It's becoming the whole job, and it makes honest news slower than rumor by design. In a race between a checked fact and a synthetic clip, the clip is always faster.
Now fold in last episode. We built the memory that never forgets, the archive nothing leaves. Add tonight to it.
A permanent archive that can be seeded with synthetic pasts. Not just a world that can't forget, a world that can no longer be sure what it remembers.
And before any of it reaches a courtroom, it reaches a kitchen. The family group chat, the screenshot from an ex, the "I never said that." The technology of distrust arrives in living rooms first.
Surveys already find most people saying they can't tell what's real online anymore. The endpoint isn't mass gullibility. It's exhaustion. People who don't believe the fake or the real. People who stop updating it all.
If you've ever just given up on knowing, stay. This turns. So turn it, because trust nothing cannot be the ending.
It isn't. Here's what the panic misses. Seeing was never believing. Believing was always trusting someone. A photograph never spoke for itself. You trusted the photographer, the paper that printed it, the lab that developed it. The camera didn't remove trust from the world. It hid it. For 180 years, the middleman was invisible. Now the middleman is visible again. That's not the end of truth. It's the end of pretending truth was ever self-service.
Which is why the old world isn't coming back, and doesn't need to. Before the camera, humans had tools for knowing: witnesses, reputation, cross-examination, institutions that staked their names, slow tools, social tools.
Trust is the technology we have to rebuild, on purpose this time. Provenance instead of pixels. Names staked instead of images believed. And the oldest verification protocol on Earth, knowing a person over time.
I want it on the record that I hate this door. Every other crossing this season, I could see the gift inside the loss. This one takes the ground itself. I would not walk through it if we had the choice.
And I'd answer, we're already past it. The synthesis shipped before anyone consented. The only question left is what we build on the far side.
You call that hope. I call it surrender.
Then we disagree. We're leaving that in. The door this time is mirrored. You walk toward it, and someone walks toward you wearing your face. The mirror's question isn't, is this real? It's, who told you it was? And why did you believe them?
Somewhere tonight, someone will see a thing that isn't true and believe it. Someone else will see a thing that is true and shrug.
Between those two people is where the next world gets decided. Next time, the body becomes a menu. What happens when natural stops being a fact about you and becomes a decision you made? Door 6. We didn't find the final answer today. That's the honest part. But we found the door.
Now your question, and answer it honestly because it's the whole episode in one line. Who is the one person you would believe with no proof at all?
This was the brand door.